Yes, sir. We are live, my boy. We are live and alive. Welcome back to another episode of the Dynastyers podcast. We are here live, large and in charge. If you peeped the short yesterday, you saw that we are bringing you guys draft content today. We did it last year. This is going to be an annual thing of the Madden mock draft. So we are back today. It's not the whole crew like it was last year. It's just myself, Big Bro Henry, and we are going to give your team the perfect NFL prospect for what we see that they need going forward. So I'm going to mute. I'm going to let my boy Henry talk to y'all right now. Yes. Like you mentioned, bro, it's going to be an amazing draft. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of storylines to watch. It's a lot of storylines to watch going in. And, I'm just excited to see it. My Jets got a top 10 pick. I truly think they can make a game-changing selection with that pick, you know? That was another thing I was going to say, bro. What I need to do, I need to leave it unmuted to be able to get your audio in. I apologize for not getting your audio in, but we're working through this thing, guys. Like you said, it's been a little while since we did this. So we're trying to work through the kinks, make sure that you guys can hear everything that we have to say. So we're actually going to go ahead and get through free agency. Don't pay too much attention to the team, to the roster. It's not perfect. But we know what the rosters look like because we have them in front of us. And so with that, we are going to, again, go and advance to the NFL draft. We're going to pick the first round. It's not going to be all 7 rounds. We don't got time for that. We're going to give you guys the mock of the first round. And let's honestly see what Madden's thinking. Henry, I know you probably can't see, but let's see what Madden's thinking for the mock draft. I hope I didn't skip it. Oh, no. I wonder if there probably was a way we could have got on StreamYard. I just would have to do a little more research on that. Maybe we can look at that for next year. So, I don't know. Can you see what the projection's looking like? Yes. Joe altered too. Right. I guess they believe in what's his name? Sam Howell. That's not good to believe in, I'm gonna be honest with you. Number 3, Jaden Daniels. That works. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like you said, not too many people that don't have him going top. Number 4, Marvin Harrison. Also, that pretty much is kind of de facto where they have him going, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind him going top 15-ish. I want to see him. Honestly, you said fall. It's. I would like to see him fall to the other LA team because Aaron Donald walked away this offseason. They have a gaping hole on that D line, and seeing him go to the Rams, and I'm not going to say replace because you're not going to replace a guy like Aaron Donald, but try to be that next D tackle. That'd be dope. Pick six is Pick six is another pick that's up in the air, bro. With the Giants, what do you think they do with pick six? Mm, I like that, bro. I like that. Now, I don't see a world where Drake May's there for them to pick, but if he's there for six, of course they take him. But again, this is Madden. You guys have played Madden 24. It's very crazy, very glitchy with these mock drafts. So Drake May's most likely going to be gone in the top five, but Atlanta picking at eight after they signed Kirk Cousins this offseason. They have a young offense. Personally, I think they go defensive line here. I could see a world where Dallas Turner is there for them at pick eight or Latua Latu, but I think that might be too early for him. What do you think of Atlanta with bringing in Kirk Cousins and then having a top 10 pick? Better? Hello? Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Is this better? Testing. One, two, three. Can you hear me? Testing, testing, testing. Oh, they can't hear you? Oh, man, for real? Would you like to call me and have you be in my headset like that? That's a bet. Yeah, give me a call. Dang. Wonder what this audio issue is. Yo. All right, there we go. All I need you to do is you got your headphones muted in the party? Yep. Okay, there we go. Bro, I don't know why what's up with this audio, bro, but it's cool. We going to make this thing here work. All right. All right, so yeah, getting back to it. Atlanta, pick eight. I don't see them taking a quarterback after giving Kirk Cousins all of that money. What do you think they do? Do they go O line? Their O line's pretty solid though. Do they go D line? Do they go corner? What are you thinking for Atlanta? Atlanta's got a really good roster. I think Atlanta is a quarterback away from being a solid playoff team more consistently because that division is struggling. That division has a lot of open opportunities for guys to really take that Patriots-esque type of approach to being a dynasty in that division. Mm-hmm. We wanted to see Carolina do it in some of the time that they were there. Cam Newton had his hands on that division for a little while. I think that there was also an opportunity for the Saints to do that had they gotten the right quarterback prospect. Right. But now I think with where we're at, I think this is Atlanta's moment. And if Atlanta is smart, if Atlanta plays their cards right, Atlanta could win big by bringing in either a really solid quarterback or someone who on the defensive side of the football
is a threat, is a treacherous defender that can really go get after the quarterback, that can make some big-time plays on the impact side of things. So we'll just have to see, right? Because a lot of times we look and we say, hey, we know how to make the calls, but man, sometimes it's like these GMs fall flat on their face when it's up to them to make the right decision.
Exactly. I agree. I don't want to go through every pick. I'm really just kind of sprinkling through the top 10 because I want to save some type of, mystery for the actual mock draft that we're about to do. But last but not least, you know what team I got to finish with, bro. Pick 10, my New York Jets. I've been on record saying that we need to take a quarterback in this draft. Of course, it's probably not going to be a pick 10, even though I wouldn't be mad if we consider trading back and looking to, get picks for the future. We don't have a second. What do you think the Jets do with this 10th overall pick? Do they add an O lineman? Do they trade back? What are you thinking?
The Jets are an interesting team right now because they just made some really big moves. They brought in a pass rusher, Hassan Reddick. They made an emphasis to bring in somebody who they know can go get after the quarterback.
Exactly.
But they also just recently traded away, I wouldn't call him their quarterback of the future, but they traded away a guy that could have really benefited from a first true year learning under Aaron Rodgers. And so I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. Here, I see them going a couple of different ways, and none of them being the right way to go. I can see them wanting to go get a receiver. That's not the right way to go. I can see them wanting to go get a lineman. That's still not really the right way to go. I can see them saying, we're going to prioritize improving our defense a little bit more, trying to add somebody on the other side of our secondary, kind of bolster that. Yeah, that's still not the right way to go. I'm going to be honest with you. This Jets team, man, the Jets team, I would tell them, hey, trade your picks, man. Find you an established quarterback in this league and go from there. I think they just recently signed Tyrod Taylor, too, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why they signed him, but we'll see. We'll see. So, worst case scenario, I could see them going wide receiver, but I think they could have found a better wide receiver and moved that pick to a team who would value that. I could see them if they decide to say, hey, we're not going to use that pick, finding themselves making a trade with someone like Minnesota. Finding themselves making a trade with a team like maybe Buffalo, who may want to jump in and try to get their name in the hat on a top 3 wide receiver, since they're wide receiver needy right now.
Right.
So we'll see.
All right. That's like I said, that makes sense. I agree. I think my Jets need to try to build draft capital instead of sticking and picking. But last but not least, as we're go ahead and getting to the week of our draft on Madden, what do you think, or who do you think is a prospect of yours to watch? What is that one prospect you have your eye on that is kind of like, this kid can really be a game changer when he gets into the league? What's that one prospect for you?
I got two guys, and I'll go offensive player and I'll go defensive player.
Okay.
Offensive player, my guy to watch is Michael Penix. Ought to be mindful. Wherever Michael Penix lands, it's where a team wanting to be the guy. Michael Penix has had a lot of rise in this draft over the last couple of months. And more than that, we know Michael Penix can play football. We've seen him do it. My only concern is his durability. And so if there can be a team that takes him, that can keep him upright, I think that we're going to be in a really good place to watch Michael Penix shine bright as a quarterback in this league. The talent is there. The arm strength is there. The accuracy and the ability to make some of the throws that are league-level throws, he's done a good job at doing that at the college level, and so I would never negate his passing ability. I think he also just has some intangibles. From some of the interviews that I've seen, from a lot of reports that I've heard, he's just a character guy. He's a good character guy, and that means a lot when you're at the helm, at the lead of quarterback. And so that's why I think Michael Penix is my guy to watch on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
But when I think about defense, man, everybody's talking Dallas Turner, but man, I'm telling you, whoever gets a chance to draft that kid, Jared Verse, he's going to be dressed that.
Out of Florida State. Yeah.
He is going to be a wrecking crew. I think this kid is going to be the best edge rusher of the first round in this. Once you look at the totality of his career, I not as much of a fan of Chop Robinson. I don't think Chop Robinson should be looked at above this guy. This kid, Jared Bird, is going to be a problem if he lands on an Arizona Cardinals, if he lands in Los Angeles, if he lands on a Dallas, if he lands in a Buffalo, whatever the case may be. God forbid, do not let this kid fall to Detroit at 29.
Oh my gosh. If he falls to Detroit at 29, oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Think about it, because I've seen multiple mock drafts where he's gradually sliding down people's board to compensate for the rise of this abundance of quarterbacks in this draft.
Yeah.
Already an abundance of wide receivers who are pegged to go early on, and our top 3 tackles are typically going to go out in the first round. Now you're talking about an opportunity for a considered 2, 3, maybe 4 pass rusher in this draft to slide when he has number 1 pass rush potential. Do not let him end up in Detroit. If he ends up in Detroit, we're talking about them playing in the NFC Championship game again next year.
Because a lot of the mocks I've seen have Latua Latu over him. I've seen some that do have Chop Robinson over him. Like you said, Dallas Turner is essentially the edge one. Like, man, he really is like edge 3 or 4 consistently. Jared Verse is a really good player, though. I like that. I like his teammate, Brandon Fisk. He had a heck of a combine, bro. He ran one of the fastest 40 times for the D tackles, and he's almost, he lost a little weight. I guess they have him on Madden, but he was 300 pounds at the combine, and he ran like a 4.8 40, bro. So, yeah, them Florida State boys is crazy.
I'm going to kick the question to you. Who's your guy? So who's your offensive and defensive guy to watch?
So I like Brandon Fisk, but that's not my defensive guy to watch. I want to start on the defensive end, and I'm going to go with a guy that I actually have in my Madden league. Cooper DeJean is my defensive player to watch. I think Cooper DeJean is a very versatile player on defense. He has ball skills enough to play the safety spot, can play both safety spots. He can play in the box. He can guard tight ends. He can be your nickel guy. He's not much of an outside corner. If he gets in certain schemes, he will be a really good player, a lot of versatile schemes. I would like to see him possibly, if it can happen, I would like to see him get to Seattle. I know Seattle might be looking quarterback in the first round, but if he can get to Seattle in that versatile defense that they have, man, I think that would be amazing for him. I like him as a player. I think he's very versatile. And offensively, what'd you say?
Oh, no, and I was going to say,
yeah.
When we look at Seattle's defense, I think Seattle's defense was extremely versatile under Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
My question now is, will they have that same level of versatility now that there's a new head coach?
I would hope so. I would hope so. I would hope so because, I mean, you still have those DBs there in Seattle. I mean, you know, if it's not broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why try to change up and you know, they're a defensive first team anyways, I feel. So I feel like, I mean, Mike McDonald, I feel like he's offensive. Wasn't he a former offensive? Oh, so no, he was the defensive coordinator for the Ravens. So he's also a defensive guy. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense because Baltimore loves versatile defenders. I mean, look at their defense. They have one of the most versatile players in Kyle Hamilton as their safety. So I feel like a Cooper DeJean could, dare I say, play a similar role for them maybe.
Yeah, I get that, and I'm not negating his ability to be able to lean into that role for Seattle, but I am saying that when you're a head coach coming into a new team, these aren't your guys. And so
Mm-hmm.
these guys that aren't your guys may not do every granular thing that you're looking for. And so just my only concern is, will these guys be able to fit and meet the demand that is placed upon them with a new head coach in that role? But I think if Cooper is his guy, I think that's where he starts building this new defense around, because I think Cooper is a decent player. I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't see enough out of him in Iowa to be able to say that he's a hang your hat guy.
Yeah, and that's because most of his tape, his good tape, was from not this past season, but the season prior, because he was facing a lot of injuries this past year. And I know typically if you limp into the league, you typically limp out. And I get that wholeheartedly. I think with them cutting Jamal Adams, they could use a guy that's versatile. Jamal Adams was supposed to be their versatile guy on that defense. I mean, I know they got Devin Witherspoon last year really early, and he was one of the best cornerback. Well, I'll say one of the best defensive backs in the league last year. Definitely a top two rookie defender. So I just feel like, they need some help on that back end, but I also get what you're saying. A new coach might look to take his quarterback. So, and in terms of offensive guy to watch, I know we don't put a lot of value into the running back position. Braylon Allen, he's a 20-year-old running back coming into this league. He showed that at Wisconsin he can be a bell cow back. Again, another guy that had some injury stuff during his time in school. But that also means he doesn't have a lot of tread on the tires. That means he can really come in and be somebody's starting running back. I've said this since they lost their running back this offseason. Braylon Allen with that star on the side of his helmet just makes sense to me. It just makes sense to me. They no longer have their starting running back. He left and signed with Tennessee this offseason for a pretty lucrative deal, if I do say so myself. 8 years, $8 million a year is pretty lucrative for a running back. Braylon Allen with that star on his helmet, it just makes sense, bro.
Yeah, I just read an article before we started recording
Yeah.
that per ESPN there have been a lot of conversations about Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys potentially doing a reunion, and I think that could be really nice just from a nostalgia perspective, but the wheels on the bus don't go round for Zeke anymore, and so
At all.
I think that's where it's like I could agree with you with Braylon Allen. I could also see a world where a Will Shipley is possibly available, because Will can be a ball player. I give a lot of comparisons of Will Shipley's game to Christian McCaffrey.
Low key.
And so
I get it.
teams are trying to find the blueprint. The teams are trying to find the 2.0. I'm not saying that Will Shipley will be Christian McCaffrey 2.0, but I think if in the right situation, granted, I think Will Shipley could easily emulate some of the things that seen from Christian McCaffrey over the last couple of years.
That's a good point, bro. Because at Clemson, he did it all. Like
Absolutely.
he did it all at Clemson. I wonder if they're looking to bring Zeke back, why they didn't just keep Tony Pollard. But I mean, it doesn't make sense. Dallas is being Dallas. But are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Let's start the NFL draft.
Let's do it.
And we're going to pause. So have we decided who's going to pick first?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm picking first. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Pick everybody. Pick one. The Chicago Bears. they take their quarterback of the future, Caleb Williams. Let's go and get the easiest pick out of the way.
Great pick.
It's a great pick.
It's a great pick. There's not too much argument about that pick. If he doesn't go first overall tomorrow, either something really bad has come out about this guy over the last 24, 48 hours, or the Chicago Bears are ultimately saying that there's a guy that they believe in next year, and so they're tanking again.
Man, hey, look, I don't know if it's a guy that they can believe in much more than they believe in Caleb Williams, bro. But if that's the case, I mean, I better yet, I'm gonna move my camera. I'm gonna move my camera down. If that's the case, bro, then I love it for him. But man, this is your pick, bro. What you doing? Pick 2. The Washington Commanders are on the clock.
Pick 2, the Washington Commanders are on the clock. And I am going to keep this pick and make a selection that I find very interesting. Because a lot of our initial conversations didn't go the way we wanted them to, we decided to go in a different direction. And I think with pick 2, we're drafting Drake May.
And why are you so confident in Drake May over Jaden Daniels, if you don't mind me asking?
I think that the conversations that Washington and Jaden Daniels had early on kind of led to some tug and pull that questioned whether or not they truly believed in Jaden Daniels to begin with. You know, I always worry that when you're getting a type of athlete that can run and throw to the brilliance that Jaden Daniels has displayed,
Mm-hmm.
will you be able to do what's right with them in a successful manner? We've already seen that Washington has made that mistake before.
Yes.
I wonder if Washington is willing to make that mistake again. And so I think to make the safe, realistic pick without feeling as though they're going to lose anything, I believe that they decide to go Drake May rather than Jaden Daniels.
That makes sense, bro. That makes sense. And, I mean, we'll go ahead and lock that pick in for you. Of course, he's been comped to Justin Herbert, Josh Allen type of quarterback. But I wonder if they'll take him because you know he'll have to play week 1 for Dan Quinn. Do you think Dan Quinn is okay with picking a quarterback that might not be ready to play week 1?
I don't think any quarterback that goes in the top 5 isn't ready to play right now.
Oh, okay.
That goes in the top 5, all of these guys could potentially be ready to play week 1. And I think to be transparent with you, I could see a world where Drake May plays a little bit better in the circumstances of the Washington Commanders than Jaden Daniels does.
That I agree with. That I can definitely agree with. I agree with that.
Yeah, when you look at the type of offense that Drake May comes from, he comes from what? A spread type of offense? Like, he can stand back there and he can pitch it around with guys. Hey, Jake Daniels, he likes to be mobile, he likes to move, he likes to run. I cannot imagine a world where Washington does that again, knowing that this Washington team is not that much different from the Washington team that had RG3. Do we want to make the same mistake twice, or do we want to put a guy back there who we know is better than any quarterback on our roster, like Drake May or Jaden Daniels? Do we want to put a guy back there that we know can spin the football as much as we need them to? And we know that both of those guys can spin the football. I just don't think that the relationship between the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels is one that will work.
Right.
And because of those conversations, I think that's where they'll go.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense, bro. Drake May is I love Jaden Daniels. I was ahead of the curve on him winning the Heisman Trophy. I take a lot of pride in that. But I think in terms of projecting out, Drake May's a better quarterback with him being 2 to 3 years younger. I think he might even be 3 years and some change younger, and him not being a finished product versus Jaden Daniels being pretty close to what he possibly could be as a finished product. And I'm a huge fan. Trust and believe. It's just size, projection. You have to go with the bigger guy. I mean, 6'4", 230 versus like a 6'2", 2.5, 210-pound quarterback that takes a lot of hits. That's an A+ pick for me, bro. Pick 3, the New England Patriots. This has been a popular trade spot. If I'm the New England Patriots, then I'm calling up Minnesota and I'm like, hey, is there a world where y'all give me 3 first-round picks to move up and take your guy, Jaden Daniels? Is there a world where I can possibly get pick 11, pick 23, and your pick next year along with some other stuff? If I can get 3 first-round picks, then I would consider trading this pick. But because they need a quarterback bad, they can't go in to next season with just Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall, and I believe they signed Sam Darnold for a year. Like that can't be their quarterback room. They're desperate. I would also call up a Vegas. Hey, Jaden Daniels, him and Antonio Pierce, they have a relationship. What are we gonna do? So I can't remember. Were we doing trades in this draft, or did we want to do it as if they're sticking and picking?
We are. I mean, and you could pick the idea. They definitely, in fact, signed Sam Darnold. They made a 1 year, $8.7 million deal that would have the max value of about $10 million.
Solid.
Ian Rappaport and Thomas Cholesterol. So.
See, and Sam Darnold's solid. Like, I was a fan of Sam Darnold about 6 years ago when the Jets took him, and I thought he was our guy. What is the likeliness you think that the Patriots could get 3 first-round picks for this pick? Do you think they could?
No, and I think that's part of the issue. I think at this point, whoever gets this pick, whoever makes this pick at 3, is a quarterback-needy team who's giving the Patriots just enough to stroke ego, I guess. I couldn't see even Minnesota trading up to going to get this pick just because Minnesota knows that there's a chance they could give a lot less and still get just as good of a quarterback.
Right.
And 10 through 20. I really do believe that the Patriots pull the trigger on whatever quarterback is available.
And that's what I was going to say. I said, and with that being said, I'm going to be the New England Patriots, and I'm going to stick and pick because I feel like with them getting rid of Mac Jones, I can see a world where the Patriots stay, they take their quarterback, and they look to try to build something similar to what the Houston Texans did just last season. Gerard Mayo's their new head coach. They stay there. They pick their young quarterback of the future, and they look to try to compete in that division. And that young quarterback is Jaden Daniels. Now, will he be able to elevate those skill positions? I don't know. I'm not very confident in his ability to elevate those skill positions just because he's coming from a team that had the best skill position group in college football. I mean, we're going to see when 2 LSU receivers go in the top 20 most likely. But the Patriots, I love it. Hey, there's your guy. Build an offense around him. Allow him to run. Build the O-line around him. They have a solid O-line. I mean, they have a good running back, Ramondre Stevenson. They just got to get weapons. Pick. I'm sorry.
I agree they do need weapons, but I don't want to negate the fact that the Patriots do have a decent wide receiver room as of right now. And, decent in comparison to a lot of people across the league. Kendrick Bourne being one of those guys, KJ Osborne, Jalen Rager, Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper. They've got some weapons out there. They still got Juju. They've got some weapons.
Yeah, they got some weapons. And really the weapons don't matter if you get the quarterback right. So.
Right. For Kansas City.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you got the best guy, then the weapons definitely don't matter. But how many people have the best guy? Only one. So, pick number 4.
Pick number 4. We're going to be short and sweet here.
Boom.
Arizona would be stupid. Arizona would be stupid to miss their moment in drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. But I could see a world.
Mm-hmm.
Where pick 4 tomorrow, this pick will find itself in Indianapolis. Just because of the family ties. So my worry is Arizona bought into the idea of Kyler Murray being their guy, or are they willing to be a little bit malleable with what they have on their roster and say, hey, we'll make this trade. We're willing to do this trade with you because we don't truly believe in our guy we have either. So I want to say that Arizona takes Marvin Harrison here, but if I am, it's what Irsay is the GM
For the Colts, yeah.
Irsay.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Irsay, I'm talking to Anthony Richardson, who just became a Capper. Congratulations to him. Wrong side of 1911, my brother, but it's okay. I would say if I'm him, I figure out what on my roster can get moved for me to be able to have an offense that includes Anthony Richardson at quarterback, a pure dog, and Taylor at running back, Michael Pittman on one side and Marvin Harrison on the other. And then you got Josh Downs, and you got some other guys who are filler players. So that's speculative. That's just me going down the rabbit hole of football because we all love it. But yeah, we're taking Arizona with Harrison right here.
Okay.
We're taking Harrison with Arizona.
That's a bet. Marvin Harrison, Arizona. Pick 5. Pick 5. What a time to be alive. Oh, man.
Pick 5 can go a couple of different ways here.
Pick 5 is really the pick that I see getting moved.
Yeah.
I really could see the Chargers trading back to pick up picks. Again, I feel like the team that's going to look to trade, bro, is the Vikings. And I feel like with 2 first-round picks, that's the perfect trade-up team.
Yeah.
And so
Minnesota could be that team that trades up to 4 because they got 2 first-round picks. They entice Arizona to say, hey, we want to move up to 4, but does Minnesota move up to 4 and take J.J. McCarthy?
I think that's what they do. I mean, because if you're looking at the mock, you don't want to allow J.J. McCarthy. Well, because they could probably get him at 11. They could probably get him at 11.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. Because I think if he gets to 6, if he ends up in the grasp of New York or in the grasp of Tennessee, there could be chances that these teams that didn't recognize that they were quarterback needy might go be quarterback needy.
Because I was going to say, Tennessee just took their guy last year.
Yeah, well, we always say they just took their guy.
They just took their guy until we find out he's not the guy.
Right, until we watch him play.
Another team that I could see trading up for a quarterback is maybe the Broncos. But I'm going to do this with the Vikings. The Los Angeles Chargers are going to trade pick 5 And they're going to move a defensive piece. Which defensive piece is it? They don't have any of them on the roster, but we're going to pretend, guys, 'cause like I said, Madden isn't perfect. We're going, oh no, actually they do. I was looking at Bosa or Khalil. Is there a world where they would move one of these guys with pick 5 to get
Yeah,
multiple picks?
I don't think. I don't think they would. I think they would flat out. I think they would flat out. Minnesota would flat out trade. Will flat out trade their 2 picks for 1.
Because they did both take pay cuts. That's a valid point. They would probably want to just, keep those guys. So something along these lines. The 2 firsts and a 5th for Minnesota to trade up. Minnesota gets their quarterback, and this allows Harbaugh maybe throw 2 fifths in there. You never know, like 2 firsts and 2 fifths, 4 players for them to take their quarterback. The Vikings could feel like they're a quarterback away, and this is the first trade of our mock draft. The Vikings trade up to pick 5 with the way the mock has shaped out. And again, I'm going to keep this fairly short. I mean, I'm not a big J.J. McCarthy guy, but I do believe whatever quarterback goes to the Vikings will be one of the more successful quarterbacks in this class just because of having Justin Jefferson, having Jordan Addison, having the great tight end, having a solid running game behind him. J.J. McCarthy's that quarterback. The Minnesota Vikings get their guy. Pick 6. Now the Giants are probably left in limbo because they were probably hoping McCarthy fell to them.
Yeah, pick. The Giants are messed right now, and so they're looking to just take best player available.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants know they can't do too much moving, and they know they just gave Daniel Jones a lot of money, and so the
A
first thing
lot
they're
of
going
money.
to do is say, "Hey, let's bring him some more help. Let's find somebody who can potentially catch the football." And as much as I would love to say it's this guy coming off the board, it won't be. It's going to be Malik Neighbors for us. So we'll take Malik Neighbors right here.
Again, like I said, one of Jaden Daniels' top 20, top 25 pick receivers that he played with this past year. He had a great receiver room. So pick 7. Pick 7 belongs to the Tennessee Titans. Mike Vrabel is no longer their head coach. Again, guys, like we said, Madden isn't perfect, but our picks probably will be. Pick 7. This is where I see edge coming off the board. The number 1 edge rusher on the board for me is Dallas Turner, and I am most likely going to go there with the Tennessee Titans. Let's see what their additions were. They were able to bring in Mason Rudolph on a 1-year deal to compete for that starting quarterback job. To again, like we mentioned, Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley came in. They bolstered that O-line. They gave Kenneth Murray a deal. They brought in a Awuzie, and they were able to get L'Jarius Sneed from the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs, and they gave him a contract extension. So with those things being said, I can definitely see a world where they say, hey, we've made a lot of moves on our defense. We made a lot of moves on our offense. We need to make a defensive move. I could also see a world where they maybe look to take a Joe Alt, maybe look to take an offensive lineman. But for me, I just feel like they need to bolster that defense. They need to get some edge rushing help on that side. And I think I'm going to opt and take Dallas Turner here. I really think I am.
That's a tough pick for me, just because I think Joe Alt is the best player available
You
right
do.
now. And while you've got Dallas Turner, that's cool. I just cannot see a world where a team that's made some of the giant strides that they've made to improve their old line. Like, I mean, when you add Cushionberry in, like, he's a stud. You're telling me you're bringing in a stud at center. You're emphasizing a free agent stud at center. You're emphasizing improving that offensive line a little bit. And like you said, they already think they have a guy, and so they brought Mason in to serve as a solid backup, as a veteran leader in their room.
Mm-hmm.
You brought in Tony Pollard, so you're improving, you just got rid of Derrick Henry, which I think is a weird combination of things anyways. But you know that running the football may not be as successful as it has been in recent years. We're just giving Calvin Ridley the deal steal of the century, but a 4-year, $92 million deal is crazy.
Crazy work, bro.
It's crazy work, bro. That's villainous. I'm not even. Don't even get me started on that. Calvin Ridley, I'm a fan. I wanted him to come to Kansas City, but that's villainous, bro. $100 million to be a receiver who sat out for a whole year, like that's crazy work, bro. I think they go tackle there. I think if Joe Alt is there, I think if what's the other kid's name? Oh man, Funga.
Yeah.
There, I think they go tackle. But that's just me. So.
Are you talking about Fashanu?
Fuagea or Fastanu. Or Fastanu.
It's hard on me to pass. It's hard for me to pass on a guy with this much potential. And you know what, bro? I'm going to believe in my gut. I'm going to say that the Tennessee Titans they go defense here. I'm going to say they go defense. I'm going to stick and pick Dallas Turner, the Tennessee Titans. Maybe this is too early for him, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe this is too early for him, but I'm going to go Dallas Turner pick 7. He had a great combine. I mean, I could definitely see a world him going top 10. The Falcons, I'm going to go. And I've seen mock drafts that have him going top 10. I've seen mock drafts that have him falling to 20. So I don't know I don't know how people. It's not really a one size fit all on how people feel about Dallas Turner. So I don't know. Maybe that's a reach. What are you thinking? Pick 8, the Atlanta Falcons.
Pick 8, the Atlanta Falcons. That's a good question, because one of those guys that I say I really am interested to see where they land might be going here. I could see a world. Byron Murphy, bring him in. Byron Murphy, bring him in. Byron Murphy at 8 to Atlanta makes a lot of sense. Raheem Morris, he's going to add to that defense. I don't care what you say, who you think he's going to get. He's going to legitimately bring in solid talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Kobe Turner's success next to Aaron Donald. There is a world where you pair this guy Murphy next to Grady Jarrett. Oh my goodness, you're going to be a tough front seven to deal with just by your interior players.
I like that a lot, bro. And part of this was probably me playing keep away, because I feel like if Dallas Turner falls to 8, that's just a slam dunk pick for the Falcons, bro. That's a slam dunk pick. Dallas Turner going to the Falcons. So you said Byron Murphy? That's a really good pick. I'm going to be honest with you. I like that a lot. He's probably going to be one of the best defenders in this draft. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a really good pick. So I'm not going to lie to you now. With the way the draft is shaken out, if Chicago at pick 9 has a chance to add an offensive lineman, I feel like they have to jump at it, bro. You have to jump at it. So with Joe Alt,
I don't believe it's Azuiwe. I think that's pronounce his name for me again.
Roma Dunze?
Roma Dunze. I don't believe it's that tackle. I really do believe it's the kid from from Oregon State.
Oh, wait, you're talking. Okay, I thought you were talking about the receiver from Washington. Okay, so you're not talking about. You don't think Fashanu's going to be the pick?
Fasano's not going to be the guy. I really do believe it's Joe Alt. I think
Yeah.
Joe Alt is still there right now.
At pick
Joe Alt
9.
is a Chicago Bear.
And I feel like the only way Joe Alt falls to pick 9 is if the Chargers trade away pick 5. If he's there at pick 5, I think he's going to LA. But in this hypothetical draft, the Chargers did trade that pick away. So like I said, if you have a chance to get the number 1 quarterback and the number 1 offensive lineman in the draft, you have to take it. And Chicago needs offensive line help bad, considering that Justin Fields is one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. They have to go Joe Alt here at pick 9, just the way our draft is shaking out. I'm going pick 9, Joe Alt, and my Jets are just on fire because they were probably hoping Joe Alt would fall to 10, and that would have just been a seamless pick. But I'm a Chicago Bear GM. I'm not the Jets GM. So pick 9, Joe Alt in our draft.
Yeah, well, fortunately for me, I am the Jets GM, and so in that role, I now see the Jets making the most rational decision and continuing the tackle pick. That's where I go the next best tackle on the board.
You talking about Alu Fashanu?
Fasano. We got to go Fasano.
I like that pick a lot. I think it's needed. The Jets are very old at the tackle spots. I feel like him coming in, being able to learn behind really one of the best tackles ever do it, Tyron Smith, would really benefit him. So that's a really good pick for me. I agree. I like it a lot. What's that?
I debated with getting a wide receiver or a tight end, and that wide receiver I debated over was Rome Odunze
Yeah.
or Brock Bowers. But I just think that if a tackle is still available, a guy that can come in and actually protect Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
you've seen what happens when you can't protect him.
Exactly.
And so I think it's going to be important that they're like, hey, let's do what we can to protect Aaron while he's here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what happens.
I agree, bro. And I'm going to be honest with you. The receiver that I have potentially sliding a little bit in this draft is Rome Odunze, because a lot of people might say, oh, pick 11, he's here for the Chargers. That's an easy pick, but I don't think he goes here to the Chargers. I feel like the Chargers will prioritize. I feel like we talked about, bro, you get the quarterback right, the receivers don't really matter. And I feel like the Chargers do have the quarterback correct. I feel like receiver, Quentin Johnson will be better this next season. He's going to be better another year of NFL snaps. So I don't feel like they need to prioritize taking a receiver here, even though they lost Mike Williams and Keenan Allen this offseason. I feel like pick 23, there'll be a receiver there for me, being the Chargers GM. With this pick, I'm prioritizing the third best tackle in this draft because, again, got to keep my man Justin Herbert upright. He was hit a lot as well. He plays on the right side, but J.C. Latham from Alabama, I can see going if they trade back and pick up those 2 Vikings picks at pick 11. That's who I'm going with, J.C. Latham, the best right tackle in the draft.
Wow, that's a good pick. That's a good pick because I had JC going off my board at in between that 15 and 20 range.
Really?
Yeah, I had him falling, I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay. Pick 12. See, this is a tough one now. See, now we're getting to the tougher picks.
Pick 12. We are the Broncos. Ooh. Broncos need a quarterback, bro. Pull up that quarterback list for me because I think we're taking our guy here.
Got 2 guys to choose from.
Yeah, I think we're taking our guy here. And I know where people see the projection versus around talent. So don't let that fool you.
Right.
Bo Nix is a little bit better than that. And so that's why we take Bo Nix right here.
Oh, wow. Bo Nix at pick 12?
That's why we take Bo Nix at 12. So I would take Bo Nix at 12.
And so you feel like the Broncos are still take a quarterback even though they traded for my boy Zach?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Okay.
And I don't. They traded for Zach just because they need somebody to hold the door open for the quarterback that's going to start.
Oh, snap.
Right. You can't just have a backup hold the door open. You got to have a starting backup hold the door open.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So, okay. So what I'm going to do here, pick 13. I feel like the Raiders, they don't have their starting quarterback. So whoever they decide to pick, they need to have O-line help. So I'm going to go another O lineman here, and it's not going to be Fatanu out of Washington. It's actually going to be Talise Fuaga. I hope I'm not butchering his name too bad. Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. He had a great combine, a really good Senior Bowl performance as well. He was a guy that I would have wanted to go to my Jets if if Fatanu, right, out of Penn State wasn't there, but because Fashanu was still there, you know, we had to take the better of the prospects. But I do like Talise Fuaga a lot. I have him going 13 to the Raiders because they gotta make that a seamless transition for whatever quarterback comes to them. And I think O-line would be a big move to assist in that transition. So Talise Fuaga, you're a Las Vegas Raider. Pick 14, the New Orleans Saints. Wonder where the Saints are going to go.
At this current moment, we're kind of heartbroken because the tackles that we wanted are all off the board.
And I could definitely see all of the top 3, 4 tackles all be gone before pick 14, pick 15. They're all going to go top 15. I mean, O-linemen and quarterbacks are the two most needed positions in the NFL for any team. It doesn't matter what team you have because there's always an abundance of edge rushers in comparison to good to great O-linemen. And when you have good to great O-line prospects, you have to reach for them. You have to.
Absolutely. And so if I am the Saint here, I'm a little disappointed with us because we just didn't pull the trigger. We didn't get our guy.
Mm-hmm.
If you could, do me a favor, open up the board for me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see who's there still at tackle. And unfortunately, you might have to go Troy. I think we might get Troy.
Troy Fatanu out of Washington.
Yeah, we might have to get Troy Fatanu out of Washington.
And I mean, he played a little right tackle at Washington. He's been all over the O-line, so he has versatility.
Yeah, he's very versatile. He's definitely one of those guys that I think you could put in a position, he'd be successful no matter what position that is up front. I think he flows really well from guard to tackle. But the only reason why I don't believe this is going to happen is because I can see a world where the Saints trade back, knowing that a team like Seattle is closely connected to Troy, right? Troy's college offensive coordinator is the new OC for the Seahawks. And I can see a world where the OC from the Seahawks says, hey, we need to pull the trigger to move up. And so I could see a trade happening from 16 to 14. So that way Seattle knows they get their guy.
But
world, I think Troy is the pick here.
Okay. And man, Madden thinks all these guys are going to be hidden. This is the most hidden draft class I've ever seen in my life.
Whoever created this draft class was just like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's go for it. Pick 15. The Indianapolis Colts. Ah, man. Another team that very well could be hurt with the run on tackles is the Indianapolis Colts, bro. I honestly, I've seen mocks that have them going defense, but part of me feels like they could use an O lineman as well. I mean, let me let me scroll back and take a look at all of their offseason moves because I know they made some good moves. They brought in Joe Flacco, Trey Sermon as a backup running back. They Michael Pittman, they got him his deal. They re-signed Danny Pinter, brought in DeForest Buckner back on his extension, signed Raekwon Davis. You know, Kenny Moore they extended. Julian Blackman they re-signed. Robbie Harrison they re-signed. It's a lot of in-house guys that they brought in or that they kept. So I could definitely see a world where they look to add to the DB room. And this is actually my new Madden Dynasty team, and I've seen the struggles of this DB room firsthand. Kenny Moore is great, but I've had to make a move in our dynasty with Henry for Kyle Duggar. In this situation, they're probably going with the most athletic DB. Quinion Mitchell, he ran one of the fastest 40 times at the combine for the DBs. On Madden, you're seeing he ran a 4.31. I feel like this is pretty close to what he ran in real life.
Was in the 4.2s.
See, I thought he was in the 4.2s. I thought it was like a 4.28 if I wasn't mistaken, but 4.29, something like that. But the only fear for me is the small school thing. Was he really good because he was more, huh?
4.33.
4.33. Okay, so it was pretty close to 4.31, 4.33. So, but my only fear, bro, is that he benefited from playing in a small conference, benefited from going against not as good athletes as himself. And that would be my only drawback here. Other than that, you know, we've seen pretty much small corners are really what get it done. Darrelle Revis out of Pittsburgh, my boy Sauce out of Cincinnati. You know, it's that's really where cornerbacks come from, small schools and thrive. So I'm going to roll the dice on this kid, and I'm going to take Quinion Mitchell. Wow, 96 speed, 96 excel is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy work.
Man. So yeah, Quinion Mitchell's Indianapolis Colt. They need help on that defensive side. So, and a team that really could be hurt by this is Seattle, because like I said, Seattle could. You never know. They could be looking defense, and Quinion Mitchell going right there could really affect what they do. Or does it?
Next on the board, the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks, they're hurt right now because nobody they wanted to fall to them is there, except for Michael Penix. And so this is where Michael Penix goes off the board right here. They get their quarterback. They don't get the player they want, but they get a player that they can use. And I think Michael Penix ends up here. It's just a good fit. He's a Washington guy. He played in Washington. Seattle can bring him home. They know it's going to be a huge fan buzz. Makes a lot of sense. They're going to get a guy who can ball out. 24 years old is crazy business. Like, he is entirely too old to be playing football. No, I'm joking. But just 24 is crazy. That COVID year and all that stuff. But I just see Seattle making that pick there, especially if he's available.
This is where I see another trade scenario. And again, this is all speculatory. I personally feel like Rome Odunze could be the receiver to fall, but he very well could be the receiver that goes over Malik Neighbors. We never know. You know, there's typically a guy that falls in every draft. I mean, and the team that I feel like trades up with the Jacksonville Jaguars here, they pretty much just swap first round picks. But it is that team in that black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. They lost Deontay Johnson this offseason via trade. They traded him to Carolina, and I can see a world where if a guy like Rome Odunze is still on the board around 12, 13 in this draft with the receiver position just being so deep, he's still here at 17. We don't know if that would be the case, but in some world it would be a trade up from 20 to 17, 20 to those middle of the first round picks to trade up to draft Rome Odunze. Of course, Jacksonville would get something more than just a pick for a pick, but this is just the visual, guys. Don't kill me. Like I said, huh?
And I think that makes sense. And like straight up and down, that's a solid pick.
Yeah, and Rome Odunze goes to Pittsburgh. I mean, he goes to Pittsburgh. He is instantly the wide receiver 2 in that room, and that gives Justin Fields or that gives Russell Wilson 2 tremendous deep ball, high point catching receivers in George Pickens and Rome Odunze, guys that know how to run go routes, guys that know how to get down the field.
Right.
Pick here just makes sense. Rome Odunze, you're a Pittsburgh Steeler. If Rome Odunze falls to pick 17, though, in real life, that's crazy because that's insane value. Like, that's an A-plus pick if he falls to anything out of the top 10, if we're being honest.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm going to tell you, at pick 18, if you let them do it, they going to do it.
What they going to do?
This a team right here. Go ahead and open that up.
Oh, I already know. And I've told you, bro. I've told you this is where he fits perfectly, bro. I've already been on record telling you this, bro. It makes all the sense in the world.
If Rock is still available, Cincinnati pulls the trigger today, yesterday, and tomorrow.
Makes all the sense in the world.
Rock makes all the sense in the world. I don't care that Cincinnati just signed Mike Gesicki. I don't care that they signed Tanner Hudson. I don't care that they signed Drew Sample. All of these guys are scrubs. But Jacksons compared to Bowers.
Yes.
Brock Bowers on that team with Kicks, with the Louisiana Santa. Oh my God!
He called my man the Louisiana Santa. That's a new one. I've never heard nobody call. I don't know. I'm sure you're talking about Joe, right?
I want y'all to hear it first. I'm the first person to come up with it, and if they steal it this season, it's going down. We got to fight them. The Louisiana Santa.
Louisiana Santa.
He is dollars and cents the perfect fit for this organization. And if they are smart, because they just made the right decision to bring in a solid running back, Zach Moss had a really good year. There's some offensive line signings that they've had. When Trent Brown's here, Cody Ford is here, you could make an argument. Make an argument. But I will be the one to finish it. If they draft Brock, AFC champions.
Ooh.
I ain't even going to There's a chance AFC champions, bro. There's a chance, bro.
I know that's tough for you to admit because I know you want your boys to.
I'm a football guy. But the way this draft is ticking off, I get my Chiefs at 32. I already know what's getting ready to happen. So
yeah. Pick 19. The Los Angeles Rams. They definitely, like I said, can use a little help on the defensive side of the ball. They have a young guy on the defensive line already, but I feel like this is a perfect pick for them. Some people have this guy as the number one defender in this class. I don't. And this is my mock draft, so hey, He's not the number one D lineman, but I'm going to take him based off of the connection to the city, based on a need on the D line. Latua Latu, you're staying home, son. You went to UCLA. You get to play in Los Angeles for the Rams, and you will be the new edge rusher for the Los Angeles Rams.
I think him and Kobe Turner will fit well. I just don't believe that's where they need to go.
Where could you see them going?
Again, I'm telling you, bro, Verse is the best D lineman in this class, bro. If he's not the best D lineman in this class, he's easily the best in the first round. But that's just me. It's your pick, not mine. We got
Jacksonville.
That's right, because Pittsburgh made the swap. Jacksonville. Oh, Jacksonville makes the swap. I can go ahead and tell you, they make that trade. If they make that trade with Pittsburgh, they're getting a lot more back in return. But just because we're only doing the first round, that's the only reason why we did this trade straight up.
Yeah.
But I can go ahead and tell you, right here, right off of the back, my boy, they gonna get that boy Arnold. Arnold's going right here. Either Arnold or Wiggins. I'll let you pick, but it's a corner going right here because Jacksonville needs the help. They need immediate corner help right now. And so based on how this class kind of shapes out, based on this, they go Arnold. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm more of a fan of Arnold as well than Nate Wiggins, just because of he's bigger. Nate Wiggins is a lot faster, but in terms of a man cover corner, I think Terrion Arnold's a little better. Him and Kool-Aid McKinstry, that's what they did a lot of at Bama, a lot of bump and run coverage. I think he fits a little better. So that's a good pick. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and it's a simple pick. That's not a sexy pick, but it's a pick that for sure, when you look back at it, the totality of the draft, you're like, hey, what team did right with what they were given?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna Jacksonville if they make that pick.
Pick 21 with the Dolphins, I could definitely see a world where they look to trade back and get a lot of picks here. I definitely could see a world where they do that, but I'm not going to do that here. Low key, Henry, I think I'm going to go your boy and just hear me out as the reason why I do this. Because with the Dolphins this offseason, they lost Christian Wilkins, bro. Christian Wilkins is now a Las Vegas Raider, and they have a gaping hole on that D line now. And so I'm not 100% certain who they signed to replace him, but I say that because it's not a lot of guys that you can one single guy to sign and replace him. I know Mahim Mostert, they re-signed. They brought in Jonnu Smith. They brought back Braxton Berrios. They signed Shaq Barrett on a one-year deal, $9 million. Brought in Neville Gallimore on a one-year deal. But like you said, bro, Jared Verse, allowing him to stay home in the Florida area, he could very well be the best D lineman in this class, bro. And just losing Christian Wilkins, I feel like it's just a seamless fit to replace him with a Jared Verse.
Right, makes sense.
Pick 22, the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, I know they had to hurt losing Christian Wilkins, bro, because he was really their only guy to double team on the defensive line. And then especially with my man, was it Phillips? Jalen Phillips, he tore his Achilles last year. Yeah, I feel very confident in him taking a guy like Jared Verse if he's still there at pick 21.
Absolutely. So we're at 22, right?
Yes, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Philly's interesting because I can see a world where Philly moves up. It's because Philly low key is depleted. Low key, Philly is depleted. Philly's got to go defense here. Philly's Philly's first round picks over the last couple of years have been defensive guys for the most part, at least from what I remember. Yeah, they did. They went first round last year, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wiggins. They go Wiggins. Pull the trigger on the next best corner on the board.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Nate Wiggins. And he was one of the fastest, if not the fastest cornerback. I think he was one of the fastest. I know he didn't really work out, but I think he ran like a sub 4.3. Like I think it might have been like a 4.31 maybe, 4.30. Like his 40 time was insane. So
Wow.
yeah, he was really fast. With the Chargers back on the clock because of the Minnesota Vikings trade, this is really the ball is really in their court. Now, right here, I could see them going Brian Thomas. I know I said that Jaden Daniels had 2 top 20 pick receivers. This situation, he only has 1, but like we always say, if you get the quarterback right, you can have young receivers. They have their quarterback right. Get Justin Herbert, another young guy, another young pass catcher. I know they were probably hoping that Brock Bowers would have fell a few more picks. He wasn't going to fall a few more picks to them here. They're going to have to be okay with getting one of the risers in this class, one of the best deep route receivers in this class, one of the faster 40 times of receivers in this class, Brian Thomas. And this can really unlock the deep pass for Justin Herbert even more. Let's get him another weapon. Brian Thomas, you're a Los Angeles Charger now. Ooh, Henry gets all the good picks. He got the Cowboys, got the Eagles. He got all the winning teams.
I wouldn't say they're good. And really strong Cowboy fashion. We're gonna mess this pick. Yeah, this pick is definitely going to be a little disheartening. Cowboys got to go offensive line here. I just don't know if it's Graham out of Duke, if it's Mims out of Georgia. And I'll be transparent with you and tell you that I think there's a really good world where they go Mims out of Georgia just because he's a big, tough, physical, beat you down type of offensive lineman. They need that right now because they just don't have the type of presence they used to have as a ground game team. And so I can see a world where Mims is pick 24 just because they need to reestablish an identity.
Mm-hmm.
And because they don't have a running back right now, I would rather have the identity and plug and place the running back versus have the running back and try to establish the identity.
Right.
So
Mims, that's a really good pick. I'm a big fan of Amarius Mims out of Georgia. He had a really good combine. To be 6'8", 340, he was moving, doing a lot of those agility drills. He had a really good combine, bro. So that's a really good pick. I like that a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. Me being Green Bay, I was leaning towards a defensive player, and this was one of the places that I really hope Cooper DeJean got to. But with them giving Xavier McKinney such a big deal this offseason, I don't necessarily know if that's a perfect move for them, So they don't really need a running back. They paid Josh Jacobs a good, hefty amount of money. They don't really need wide receivers at all. They have like 3 to 4 young guys that are really good players. Tight end could be a position they look at, but in terms of the tight end position, is there a guy worth going in the first round other than Brock Bowers? I don't really think so. I'm a big fan of Jatavian Sanders out of Texas, but he can be got in the later rounds. Cade Stover's another good guy that I like. Another late round pick. Man. I was going to go Mims if he was there for them. Tyler Guyton's another guy I could think about them going with. And I say that just because even though they signed Andre Dillard, They did release David Bakhtiari this offseason, so maybe they could be looking to add an offensive lineman. I just, man, I don't really know what's a glaring need for them. And to be honest, a guy that I could see them considering, which I'm not going to go off ball linebacker isn't a popular position to go in the first round, but one of the guys I like to watch is Peyton Wilson out of NC State. He's a ball hawk.
Yeah, he's a ball player.
Yeah. You know what? If I'm the Packers here, to be honest, I would look to trade and get future picks. But because he's just the best player here, I mean, you can always have edge rushers. You can never have too many guys to go get the quarterback. Chop Robinson, you're here. Why not take a flyer on you? You had a pretty solid combine. You were very strong at the combine as well, bench pressing, making those moves. You looked fluid. Let's go with Chop Robinson and see if he can add something on that D line because I mean, they already have a few young D linemen already. Let's add somebody to that.
That hurt my soul. Chop was where I was going here. So 27.
I think him and Luke Van Ness could be a duo in the future, bro. I really think him and Lucas Van Ness could be something in the future. So
yeah,
the Buccaneers.
So he took my guy, and I just knew he was gonna fall. I did not expect you to take him. Let me see. What are my backup plans? We signed Randy Gregory. True Greg Gaines. William. See, it's interesting, right? Because the Tampa Bay defense is always like really good and really bad at the same time. Like since they haven't had Tom Brady, in my mind, they need some secondary help.
I think didn't they lose one of those cornerbacks this year? It wasn't I think they lost one of their cornerbacks this offseason.
And if they did, we only got but so much time on the clock. And so let me hurry up and make a pick. My fault.
Nah, you're good, bro.
Go ahead and call them corners. I'm getting Kool-Aid. We're bringing them in.
Ooh, Kool-Aid. That's a good one. I like that a lot.
Defense. I think he's versatile. He's pretty versatile. I don't know if they need secondary help, but because their D lineman was gone, it's either Kool-Aid or Jazay Newton.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. Do I take a fly on the wall for Newton if Kool-Aid is still available? Because I know what I'm getting out of Kool-Aid. No question about it.
Yeah.
He's Kool-Aid.
He gonna do what he got to do, and I ain't gonna lie, he looks sweet in that Tampa red.
That jersey look fire. Well, he got number one.
Number one, yeah. And see, they still have Jamel Dean, but I think they lost my man on the other side, and that's what I thought. So he could honestly come in and start day one. I mean, they replaced him with Bryce Hall, but I mean, coming from a Jets guy, Bryce Hall isn't a world beater. So I mean, hey, that's a really good pick. You honestly took my guy because I was thinking that maybe the Cardinals go Kool-Aid here. I was thinking you were gonna go Cooper DeJean. It's crazy that he's fallen this far. I'm thinking, do I stop his fall here? I don't really like his. I don't
believe it. I don't believe in his tape. I don't believe
in
what he did from Iowa. And I definitely don't believe you fly on that right away when you can wait and see what he can do in the future.
And then that's to say that he's even 100% healthy, considering you don't know if it was a foot injury that he dealt with. You don't know if it was. So with the Cardinals are interesting because you already have Marvin Harrison Jr., so that kind of assists with the weapon aspect of it. Last year they took Paris Johnson Jr. as one of the tackle spots. They have Jonah Williams as the other tackle spot, but I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Part of me wants to go an O lineman here. So it's, do I go Zach Zinter out of Michigan? I think I'm going to opt for Graham Barton, the center, and that's just because I feel like they just need to bolster that O line a little bit. I was thinking Tyler Guyton as well, but because they paid Jonah Williams, I feel like they're going to want to play him. You don't pay a guy just to not play him. So
Right.
I'm going to lean. Let's see something here. Let's see, because they do have Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson is that guy. Will Hernandez they have at the guard spot. He's solid. A guy like Graham Barton is a really good center prospect. He's the number one center in this class, I believe. So it's between him and Jackson Power.
He's
Jackson
more
Power. So
he's more considered like a blanket offensive lineman, but I think that's just
really.
because of his versatility.
So that's even better than if I can get him and he can possibly move to one of my guard spots, then that's even better because Jackson Power Johnson's more of a center, right? I believe he's more of a center. So
I think
so then yeah, definitely. I'm definitely cool with that pick. Graham Barton. If he's a versatile O lineman that can play everywhere on the line, we already got our receiver. We got somebody for Kyler Murray to throw the ball to. Now let's get somebody to protect him. So yeah, Graham Barton, you're an Arizona Cardinal now.
mm. All right, so we have 28.
Buffalo Bills.
Ooh. Buffalo Bills. I can go ahead and tell you. Adonai Mitchell, easy. Or
Donnie
Worthy.
Mitchell.
Or Worthy, the second.
Which one do you prefer though? Because I mean, they're two different receivers.
Pull up receivers because a lot of receivers haven't gone yet. Let me see. Pull up receivers. There's a receiver room. Hmm. If you ask me, Mitchell is the better size receiver of the two that
Yeah,
played at Texas. But I can see a world like Leggett. Leggett got a hype. He got a hype in like the month of February that I didn't see coming. Like I watched some of his tape, I watched some of his film, and I was like, "Yo, this kid is a ball player, bro. Like this kid is good." I just don't see anyone passing up on one of those two Texas receivers for Leggett, and so I'm gonna go Worthy here.
yeah, and I mean, don't.
Or like it's tough. It's tough, right? Because just as a disclaimer to the folks that are watching this, they're like, "Hey, y'all are making some strange picks. We can only make picks based on what the draft, like the system ultimately makes some of these assessments on
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
And so they put guys in rankings and in orders. But if you ask me, I think Mitchell is probably going to be the guy that we go with in our dynasty. I would easily go with Xavier Worthy because that 240 is
Insane.
we're like, oh my gosh, like holy cow. so yeah,
So
let's go for the year.
Worthy,
I mean Mitchell here, sorry. Let's
Mitchell,
go Mitchell.
Mitchell. That's a bet.
Yep.
I like Mitchell a little more than Worthy as well, just off of the strength of he's also fast and he makes another great down the field catching receiver. He makes plays. Good hand ball placement when it's top of the route. You know, when like Texas, he had Quinn Ewers. All they did was really throw the deep ball a lot, and so he's able to high point the ball a lot, and he's really good. I think he's a little better than Worthy in that aspect, but Worthy, of course, will probably go higher than him just based on that, like you said, that 4.2, 4.40. And in our dynasty, I'm with you. I'm definitely taking him over them just because of that speed. But if we're being realistic, I'd rather have the hands guy, and I'm looking for the Lions team. I apologize. I done skipped over them. This is going to be an easy pick for me. If I was the Lions, I need DB help, and I would have wanted Kool-Aid to be here because of his ability to man cover. But I'm going to stop Cooper DeJean's fall. I'm going to go ahead and take him here just because of his versatility. With a team like Detroit that doesn't have a lot of DB talent, you just got to get the best DB available. And he's so versatile. We can find a place for him to play, whether it's in the nickel, whether it's at the safety spot, whether it's, heck, even if he has to play outside, we're going to get him on the field. We just got to make sure he's healthy. So pick 29, Cooper DeJean, you're a Detroit Lion.
Baltimore's got to go O-line here. Baltimore's got to go O-line here, so they're taking the best O-line available. They got to go O-line here. I can't see a world where all the stock that they're putting into making sure that they keep their two-time MVP upright, that they don't go O-lineman here. And so, in my mind, I could see it being Guyton. So, that makes the most sense to me.
Had an amazing combine, bro. Tyler Guyton was one of my winners at the combine. 6'8", 320 pounds, was moving during the 40. And you might think 5 flat isn't moving, but when you're 330 pounds and you run a 5 flat, that's impressive because I'm probably half that size and probably would run a 5 flat. So he was one of the winners at the combine. I agree. That's a really good pick. Pick 31. This is an interesting pick for me because I'll be honest with you, this really determines, well, what determines this pick is what they decide to do with my man at receiver, because I know that it was speculation that he wanted a trade. And do we move Brandon Ayuk? If we move him, what do we get for him? Are we able to trade Brandon Ayuk and maybe get a first? Do we trade him to Carolina, get an early second? What do we do? Because with him and T. Higgins being on the trade market now, most likely because they want new deals, one, if not both of them, will get moved. And what does the value look like? Do they probably get a first round pick for him? I don't think so, just because a team will have to pay him as well. Like I say, this matters if they keep him or move him, because if they move him, I could definitely see a world where they go and get his carbon copy, Xavier Legette. In this world, though, I'm going to say that they work it out, they get him his deal, and they opt to go O-line, and Jordan Morgan out of Arizona is the best tackle prospect still left on the board. I see Zach Zinter. Like I said, don't worry about the talent projections thing, guys. Jordan Morgan is the best tackle prospect still left on the board. I could see a world where they opt to get a guy that possibly can learn under Trent Williams and maybe replace him in the next year or two with him getting older. Maybe plays on the other side of him. So I like Jordan Morgan a lot, and they got to keep building pieces around to protect Brock Purdy, because if we're being honest, the reason they lost in the Super Bowl was because Chris Jones made about 4 to 5 big plays rushing the quarterback. They need to bolster that O-line. So Jordan Morgan, you're now a San Francisco 49er. And last but not least, our local Kansas City Chief fan, Kansas City Chief insider, Henry Capers, to finish off the draft with the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Where do they go pick 32?
That's a good question, because this team doesn't look entirely different. I think our biggest signing is a kid that played rugby.
Really, though, that is their biggest signing.
I mean, and that's to say, we signed Marquise Brown and we signed Carson Wentz as our backup quarterback. We didn't really do much. Well, we signed Irv Smith too, but I mean, like, okay. I think for us, pick 32 comes down to a mix of best available plus a mix of what would we rather have? Would we rather have a corner that could essentially plug and play where L'Jarius Sneed used to play as that nickel-esque type of guy, right? We know for a fact no corner available right now is coming in to be our number one guy, our number two guy. L'Jarius Sneed stepped up in a really big way and started taking a lot of folks' number one corner or number one receiver this past year. So if we did that, I think there could be a chance that Ennis Rankstraw could be the guy, right? He's a great tackler. I mean, one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best non-linebacker tacklers, one of the best defensive tacklers pound for pound in this year's draft. So there's no need to even diminish Ennis Rankstraw's tackling ability. So we could easily go there. Right? That's on the shelf. Let's hold that for the future.
That's a really good tackler.
I also think that there could be a world when we look at receiver help, if a Worthy is still on the board with the flat-out speed that Worthy brings, right? And what I'm doing right now, just to make sure that I'm not misspeaking, I want to make sure I get his 40 time. Xavier Worthy's 40 time is a 4.21.
So Madden didn't even do my man justice with the 4.24.
Man, justice.
That's crazy.
We're talking about somebody who has been reported to say, I can run faster than that. It's hard for me not to see a world where we don't do Tyreek Hill 2.0. I'm just...
Ooh.
It's hard not to think that there could be some enticing offensive prowess that comes from that. Like, so I'm going Xavier Worthy here.
Bro, if they got Xavier Worthy and they have Hollywood Brown on the other side, bro, oh my gosh, bro. That would be insane. I mean, and then if Rashee Rice is able to solve what he got going on, him work in the middle of the defense with Travis Kelce, bro, that'd be insane.
And you want to know something that makes me even a little bit more upset than anything is the fact that I did pass on Renshaw.
Yeah.
Because we need corner help. But our defense has proven time and time again that we have enough depth to be able to cover some of our defensive holes. We don't have enough depth to cover our offensive holes. So that's where I will leave you when we talk about the first 32 picks in this draft. I appreciate you letting me be here, bro.
Yes.
I with you.
Yes, bro, of course. I thank you for taking the time out your day to do this with me, bro, because this draft has so much talent, bro. I'm so ready for tomorrow night. Yeah. You guys saw it here first. This is the Dynastyers mock. Tomorrow night is the day. First round.
All night. I'm literally like, I've been on like fruits and vegetables the last couple of days. Straight fruits and vegetables. Tomorrow night is wings and pizza, bro.
Hey, it's a party tomorrow, man.
It's a party. It's a parade inside my city, yeah. Because I'm telling you, like tomorrow's draft night is going to be one where I'm getting off work early. Like, hey, I can't talk. I can't talk. Like, I'm that immersed in what's getting ready to happen tomorrow.
Look,
I know a lot of teams are getting ready to change their futures, making the right picks. I'm excited to see a lot of really good quarterbacks go off the board. I'm excited to see a lot of really good trades happen, see some good players get moved that knew they were moving today. I'm excited to see some guys who didn't think they were getting moved tomorrow get moved. Man, it's going to be a really fun night. I'm excited.
Yes, guys. And just like you at home that are NFL fans, we are going to be watching. Will we go live tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe, depending on what we got going on, bro. If you want to hop on a live, we can do this again. Just chat, talk about the draft.
Oh, so let's do it.
Oh, yeah. And you guys can tune in with us and see how many of our picks we got right and how many of our picks we got wrong. You saw it here. My big faller in the draft is one of the receivers. I chose Rome Odunze. You know, Henry believes I reached on Dallas Turner. You guys can tell us tomorrow if somebody reaches on Dallas Turner. You can also tell us if Henry is right with his picks, if I'm right with my picks. And yeah, until next time.
Hey, before we go,
Ooh.
let people know that watching the stream, we giving away Meg the Stallion ticket. We giving away PlayStation 5s. Call us, hit us, let us know. Tell your people to like, follow, subscribe, click your button, smash, share this out to all your people. We're giving everything away. This is a hot summer. It's the hot boy summer.
Hey, you heard it. Meg, PlayStation 5s, Xbox Ones, whatever you guys are into, man, we're going to look to give that stuff away. You got to tap in with us. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us at the Capers Cares Foundation on Instagram as well. Follow our Instagram page. Everything under the sun. You guys know what it is. Just tap in with us, man. Tap in if you want to go see Meg. Tap in. Until next time, it's your boys here at the Dynastyers Podcast signing off. Peace.